Well, today we feel very blessed to be here with Dr. Gary Chapman and to be able to talk some about the 5 love languages and probably a number of personal things and the way the book affected you and Carolyn and also Susie and myself, my wife, for 43 years it passed, but also how it's affecting Vicki and I now. The book has just touched lives. Did you see that coming?
No, not what happened. I knew the book would help people because I had discovered it in my counseling and I've been using it for at least 5 years and teaching classes on it. I knew it would help people, but I had no idea that it would sell over 20 million copies and be published in over 50 languages all over the world.
Incredible.
It's a God thing. Yeah.
Did you really, like when you were younger, did you set out to be a well-known author and to write a book that's going to touch the world? Or I'm thinking, I remember from past conversations we've had, you were using that maybe here in the church, some of the material, and maybe didn't even plan on publishing a book at first.
Yeah, no, I when I was younger, I never thought about writing a book.
Okay.
In fact, most of the things that have happened in my life, I didn't plan them. Okay.
Really?
God just brought them.
Yes.
But that was my 3rd book, actually. I wrote the first book out of a college ministry that I had where I would teach couples preparation for marriage.
Yes.
And so later I wrote a book on that topic.
Okay.
It's now called The Marriage You've Always Wanted.
Yes.
And then the second book grew out of our single adult ministry.
Okay.
Many of those singles were going through separation and divorce.
Right.
So I wrote a book called One More Try, What to Do When Your Marriage is Falling Apart.
I have both those books. I've got a bookshelf at home that has quite a few of the books that you've written. A lot of people do not realize how many books you have authored or co-authored. I don't even know the number now.
I don't know the exact number, but it's over 50, they tell me.
Over 50. My goodness. Well, I'm not going to tell anybody else it's 20. That was a long time ago. But the 5 love languages has impacted countless people around the world. I first read it. Now, it came out in 1992.
Yes.
I first read it in 1995. I'm doing counseling there at the church. And I'm wondering, why are so many people that are in church, love the Lord, why are they struggling to love each other? And they would come in the office, I like him or I like her, but I don't love her.
Yeah.
Or I love them, but I don't like them. The day I read the book, I almost finished it in one reading. Came back the next morning, finished the book, and I just thought, this is it. This is not complicated, but like you and I were talking before we started, it's issues of the heart.
Yeah.
So the whole concept of the 5 love languages, how did you come up with those?
It grew out of my counseling. I'll never forget the first day it dawned on me that what makes one person feel loved does not make another person feel loved.
Oh, that's true.
Because the wife sat right here in my office.
Yeah.
And she said, the problem is I just don't feel any love coming from him. We're cordial, but we're like roommates living in the same house.
Yeah, I've heard that many times.
And she said, I'm just empty.
Yeah.
And I looked at her husband and he said, I don't understand that. I do everything I can to show her that I love her.
Right.
I don't know what else I could do.
Yes.
So I said to him, well, what do you do?
Uh-huh.
He said, well, I get home from work before she does, so I start the evening meal.
Yeah.
He said, after it's over, I wash the dishes.
Wow.
On Thursday, I vacuum the floors. On Saturday, I mow the grass. I help her with the laundry. And he went on, and I was beginning to wonder, what does this woman do?
Right. It felt like he's doing it all.
He was doing it all.
Yeah.
And he said, and she sits there and says she doesn't feel loved. He said, I don't know what else I can do.
Right.
Look back at her, and she started crying. And she said, he's right. He's a hard-working man.
Yeah.
But we don't ever talk.
Yes.
We haven't talked in 20 years. He's always mowing the grass, washing the dishes, vacuuming the floors.
Doing the things that he felt like would show her love.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And so I realized here was a sincere husband.
Right.
Who was loving his wife. Best way he knew how.
Best he knew how.
Right. But it wasn't connecting because, it wasn't what made her feel loved.
Right.
And so after that, I kept hearing similar stories
Yes.
over and over and over.
Right.
I knew there had to be a pattern of what I was hearing. So eventually I sat down and read several years of notes that I made when I was counseling.
Wow.
And asked myself the question,
Yes.
when someone said, I just don't feel any love coming from my husband or
Right.
my wife, my question was, what did they want?
Yes.
What were they asking for?
Mm-hmm.
You know? And their answers fell into 5 categories.
So that's how
And that's
you
how I
ended
came
up
up with
with
the
5
5.
love languages.
That's
It could have been 4, 5, 6, whatever.
That's right.
So that wasn't just like a catchy title. You found 5 reasons and ways to express love. So for those who don't know, what are those 5? And if you would explain something about each one of them.
Well, one of them is words of affirmation.
Yes.
You look nice in that outfit.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate what you did.
Yeah.
You know, Proverbs 18:21 says life and death is in the power of the tongue.
I believe that. Yes.
You know?
Yes.
You can kill people. You can kill a relationship by giving negative words.
Many times I've seen that.
But positive words. Now, I did have a lady tell me one time, she said, Gary, I would really like to give my husband some positive words. But to be honest with you, I can't think of anything good to say about the man.
That's a bad situation.
And I asked her, I said, well, does he ever take a shower? She said, well, yes. I said, how often? She said, well, every day. I said, if I were you, I'd start there.
Start there. You have to find a starting place.
I said, listen, there are men who don't take showers. You ought to thank him for taking a shower.
Yes. You know, sometimes if someone is hurt or wounded, which we talk to many people who are already separating or withdrawing within the home and becoming roommates, they feel like they're trying, but they're not connecting, and it's leaving that empty feeling in their lives and hearts and makes temptation so much easier. Not an excuse, but speaking the love languages is helping people, if they'll do it, learn them and speak those love languages, truly connect in their heart.
Yeah, absolutely.
With their husband or wife.
It meets that deep emotional need that all of us have to feel loved.
Everybody wants to feel loved.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So second love language is acts of service.
Okay.
Doing something for the other person.
Right.
That's the language this gentleman was speaking.
Yes, he was.
He was speaking it loudly and clearly.
I believe that. Yes, he was.
It just was not her language.
Right.
But that's just simply doing things for the other person that you know they would like for you to do.
Right.
You remember the old saying? Actions speak louder than words.
Yes,
if this is their language, that is true.
Yes, it is.
And then there's gifts. It's universal to give gifts as an expression of love.
Yes.
The gift says, they were thinking about me. Look what they got from me.
Yes.
And the gift doesn't have to be expensive. You know, you can, I tell husbands, I said, listen, you can get free flowers in the summer and the spring.
Yes,
just go out in your backyard and pick one.
Yes, you can.
That's what your kids do.
Yes, yes. And that can end up meaning the world.
Absolutely.
To their life, or it could be tools for him. Power tools.
Yeah, anything.
Yes.
That you think they would find meaningful.
But it says, I was thinking about you.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you brought out the point. It doesn't have to be expensive.
That's right.
It's, I was just thinking about you, and that feels so good.
Yeah.
When somebody's thinking about you and they care.
Yeah.
So what's another one?
Another one is quality time. Yes. Giving the person your undivided attention. This is what a lady in my office was crying for.
My goodness.
She didn't mean they didn't discuss logistics.
Yeah.
Who's going to take the kids to school? Which restaurant you want to go to? She didn't mean that. Right. She meant we don't ever sit down and look at each other and talk to each other and share our thoughts and feelings with each other. She was begging for quality time.
Yeah.
He was giving her acts of service. But for some people, quality time is their primary love language. This is what makes them feel loved. Yeah.
Yes. And he wasn't seeing that in that particular couple scenario. I'm hoping they learned.
Oh, they did. They did. They did.
Okay. We're able to turn that around.
Yeah.
I think some people are surprised at how quickly a relationship can turn around when we do start speaking our spouse's love language.
Absolutely. I've seen it begin to turn around within 3 weeks.
Yes.
They start speaking the right love language and they come back to my office and say, Dr. Chapman, things are different now.
Well, they're feeling loved.
Yeah, the atmosphere is changing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when one of them starts feeling loved, they want to show love.
Yeah. Right.
You know,
Love stimulates love.
that's
The
good.
Bible says
Yes.
we love God because
Mhm.
God first loved us. We're
Yes.
just reciprocating.
Yes, we
So
are.
when you choose to love your spouse in their primary love language, love stimulates love. They feel loved by you, then they're drawn to you.
Yes, that's good.
So, yeah.
That's good. When we choose to. So I often tell people, first step, learn what their love language is, what yours is, and what theirs is. But then you have to become willing to speak that language. And you make the point, it's like speaking a foreign language sometimes. It takes effort.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I've sometimes said love really begins not with a feeling, it begins with an attitude.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
See, love is an attitude. The attitude is, I want to enrich your life. I want to meet your needs.
Yeah.
I want to be there for you. And if you have the attitude of love, then the love language gives you information on how to meet one particular need, and that is
Yes.
the need to feel loved. So I'm giving
Wow.
information,
Yes.
but you choose your attitude. Now, that's the good thing.
Yes.
We don't choose our emotions. We have emotions every day based on our circumstances.
Right.
We don't choose them. We choose how we respond to our emotions.
That's true.
But we choose to have an attitude of love
Right.
in our marriage and everywhere else,
Yes.
or we choose to be selfish. I had a man tell me one time, he said, Gary, my wife and I read your book. We took the quiz. Her love language is acts of service.
Right.
But I'll tell you and her, if it's going to take my washing dishes and my vacuuming floors for her to feel loved, she can forget that.
Really?
And I said to him, that's your choice.
Yeah.
I said, love is a choice.
Bottom line, yes.
If you choose to live with a wife who has what I call an empty love tank,
right.
that's your choice. I said, I much prefer to live with a wife that has a full love tank.
Oh, absolutely.
I said, my wife's love language is acts of service. I
Yes.
do wash dishes. I do vacuum floors.
You had to learn that.
Yeah, I had to learn that. And I said, but she tells me I'm the greatest husband in the world. And my language is words of affirmation.
Hey, well, that works very well for both of you. You mentioned a word a while ago that early in my marriage, I felt like the Lord began to deal with me about strongly, and that was the word selfish, being selfish. When Susie and I got married years ago, and I'm so grateful that now in my marriage with Vicki, she doesn't have to deal with this as much. I was a selfish young man, and I didn't think I was. I mean, I was a young pastor. Gary, I remember riding around with one of my friends when I was just a teenager and making the comment that when I get married, I want to learn how to get it right. I don't know why that, but even then it was so important to me. And then we got married very young, and I'm having to learn a lot as we go. But I didn't think I was selfish. I thought I had enough love to take care of all the situations. And I didn't. I didn't understand much at all, but the fact that I was confronted, I'll say by reading scripture, or if it was something I heard in a sermon or whatever, there came a day I realized how selfish I was. And then I began to think, and I would read scriptures about how we're to prefer others over ourselves. It became a game changer. So marriage wasn't just about me and for her to make me happy. Kind of thought that when we were dating and got married.
That's the natural thing.
Yeah.
We all are self-centered. And so we get married, how happy she's going to make me, or how happy he's going to make me. The fifth love language is physical touch.
Okay.
Yes,
sir.
It can be holding hands. It can be, in a marriage, kissing, embracing, the whole sexual part of marriage, arm around the shoulder.
Yes.
Driving down the road, put your hand on their leg, just, affirming touches.
Right.
And of course, the simple idea is that each of us has what I'm calling a primary love language.
All right.
And if you don't speak that primary language, they're not going to feel loved, even though you're speaking the other languages. But I agree with you, because that was also the turning point for me. Because my wife and I had struggles in the early years. I mean, I thought we were going to be totally happy. When I was in love, we were,
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, but that only lasts about 2 years. We've studied that now. We come down off that high,
Yes, sir.
And then we have to make efforts to learn how to speak their love language.
Okay.
But yeah, we had arguments we didn't know how to solve. Ended up arguing with each other. And then not only did I lose those euphoric feelings, but then I started to have negative feelings toward her.
That comes next, doesn't it?
And thoughts that,
yes,
man, this is not working,
Mm-hmm.
And I was in seminary studying to be a pastor.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, this is not going to work,
Wow.
And I remember the day I said to God, I don't know what else to do.
Yes.
As soon as I said that, came to my mind a visual image of Jesus on his knees washing the feet of his disciples.
Really?
And I heard God say to me, that's the problem.
Yes.
You do not have the attitude of Christ.
Right. Right.
Hit me like a ton of bricks.
Well, I that particular scripture, I believe that comes out of John 13, if I'm not mistaken. It deeply touched me many years ago when I was realizing how selfish I was in marriage and relationship. And I actually, this was many years ago, preaching one Sunday, and I had Susie come up and I washed her feet there at church.
Mm.
And the Lord had me to repeat that a couple of years ago at a church that we were doing a marriage conference at. And I wasn't planning on doing that. But the Lord had me to, I had a duffel bag. So I get my basin and some bottles of water and a towel. And everybody thought I was going to have some show and tell for the moment, But no, it's far more tender than that, because I want to stay reminded that we're called to be servants. And Gary, I love the term tender warriors. I know we're supposed to be strong.
Yeah.
And we need to protect and shield our wives in many ways, but we're called to serve them.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
what revolutionized my marriage. I just said to God, forgive me. Forgive me. With all my study and theology, I'm missing the whole point.
Yes.
I said, please give me the attitude.
Yes.
3 questions made it practical for me.
Okay.
When I started asking these 3 questions, my marriage began to change. They're simple questions.
All right.
Honey, what could I do to help you? Second question.
Yeah.
How could I make your life easier? Third question. How could I be a better husband?
Wow.
When I was willing to ask those questions,
yes,
she was willing to tell me.
I bet she was. I bet she was. She said, my prayers are answered.
That's right. Looking back on that, she was telling me her love. I didn't know anything about love languages.
Right.
She was telling me how to love her.
Yes.
And I started doing those things. It didn't change overnight, but within 3 months, my wife started asking me those 3 questions. What can I do to help
you?
That's
great.
How can I make your life easier?
Yes.
How can I be a better wife?
And you answered her.
And I answered her.
Yeah, you did.
And we've been walking this road, all these years. In fact, my wife and I just celebrated our 64th wedding anniversary.
Oh, congratulations. How wonderful. What a great example y'all have been. And, I mentioned it to my wife yesterday in preparation to come here. You're out front so often. People see your face, they hear your name. I know you could not do what you do and what you have done if it wasn't for your dear wife and the way she's loved you and the way she supported you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I've told her several times through the years, I said, honey, if every woman in the world was like you, there'd never be a divorce. Why would a man leave a woman that's doing everything she can to help him?
Yes.
And my goal has been to so serve her that if I die before she does, she's never going to find another man to treat her the way I've treated her.
Through the years, as I've learned as well, the impact that the 5 love languages had on me back in 1995, I didn't want to just know it. I wanted to apply it. And then through the years for me, when I would read scripture, it would be like the Lord would take a word or a verse and he would not let me move on until I dealt with it, or he dealt with me about it.
Yeah.
And it might be a verse on preferring someone else over yourself. Ephesians 5:25, loving our wives like Christ loves the church, dealt with me for years. And I'm writing down all these different thoughts, ideas, how he forgives me and he's patient with me and he's looking for the good in me. And the list goes on. And every time something like that would come to me, I know in my heart I need to add that to the way I love my wife. And so I would hope that Susie, in the 43 years we had, she knew she was loved unconditionally, and that in this season of life, Vic's able to understand that as well. And one of the first things that I told her was, I've learned your love language, and I'm determined to speak it and help you find God's will, and I want to help you walk in it. I think that's what we're to do.
Yeah,
we don't understand the spiritual depth. It's not just make me happy. How can I help you grow in your faith?
Yeah, absolutely. That all goes together. I have a
Yes.
brother-in-law who had a similar experience to you. He was married to my sister. My sister died at the age of 58 after an 8-year battle with cancer.
Yeah.
And a couple of years later, my wife introduced him to a lady here in our church, and they ended up getting married.
Oh, wonderful.
And just a couple of years ago now, my brother-in-law died. I was down to see him, visit with 3 weeks before he died.
Right.
And he said to me, sitting on the couch, he said, "You know, Gary, there's a lot of men that never have one good,
Yes.
but God gave me 2."
What a blessing. What a blessing. And he was right
Yeah.
in what he said. And I hear that sometimes as well. And very blessed. And that's God's grace. And then, but beyond that, we've got this responsibility that we've been talking about in trying to bring the best out of our wives. Years ago, I used to go to a Christian retreat up in the mountains, and 700 acres on top of the mountains. And a lot of times when I would go, nobody else would be there but 1 or 2 people in the office. And I'd have pretty much the run of the whole place. And I love being outside, love nature, and I could get out and walk and pray and think and things of that nature. But I went in to talk to, her name was Betty. I went in to talk to Sister Betty one day, and she just shook her head and she said, "I know you're up here and you're praying about marriages and how you can help families." She said, "I have all these young couples from our city and around. They come to me and they're asking for marriage advice." And she says, "I've never been married a day in my life." And she said, the Lord would send them up here. And I'm saying, what am I supposed to tell them? But Gary, I'm going to tell you, I think she had just 2 words, but they were so profound. And I've repeated them many times. Number one, she told them, when you leave, leave. When you create that new family unit, be determined you're going to make it work. Don't be looking back all the time and looking for loopholes. And here's the second one that I love so much. She said, learn to love your husband or wife the way they are, not the way you want them to be.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Oh, that resonated with me.
Yeah, because listen, none of us are perfect.
No.
You know? So, yeah, we have to love them as they are. And it's okay to try to negotiate things, if there's something that's bugging you, fine, share it with them. And if you can change, change,
Right.
But there's going to be some things they're never going to change because it's just not the way they're built. They just can't do it,
So there's some things that we need to learn to accept that they're different, and that's not our place to change them to be more like us.
There are people who are never going to be able to keep up with their car keys. Every time they leave, they're going to say, "Where are my keys? Where are my keys? Where are my keys?"
Yeah.
And I don't care. I've told husbands, I said, if it's your wife, I said, I don't care how many hooks you put in the garage.
Yeah.
Say, honey, hang them on the hook. They're not going to hang them on the hook. They're not wired that way. They don't have that gene. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I said, best thing you do is get you 2 or 3 sets of keys.
Okay.
Use these, honey. We'll find the others. And you will. Maybe
and keep the right attitude.
Yeah.
In doing that.
Absolutely. And
think of the arguments that would eliminate just by being more understanding like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
So you've seen that, I'm sure them more than one time, that there are things people don't change in as much as we would like for them to change.
One of the things that irritated me about my wife was the way she loaded the dishwasher.
Okay.
She loaded like she's playing Frisbee.
All right.
Throw them in there,
Yeah.
In the morning, I'm a morning person. In the morning, I always open and you take them out of the dishwasher.
Okay.
Well, sometimes it'd be a broken glass or 2 spoons that had peanut butter between them. Didn't get clean.
It's not supposed to work that way.
And I tried to explain it to her, and her answer was, I don't have time to do that when I'm cooking. I don't have
Put them
time.
in. She just, yeah.
And so after, I don't know how long we went on with that argument back and forth, And finally one day she said, honey, if it's so important to you, why don't you load it? And I said, oh, well, I
Okay.
could,
Yeah.
And I said, now, honey, if I do, there's some nights I have to leave early and as soon as we eat and go back to church for a meeting. I
Right.
couldn't do it those nights. And she, well, I don't mind doing it. And I'm thinking, I know, but I've got to unload it in the morning.
Uh-huh.
But I decided I was going to be the one that loaded the dishwasher. And I've been loading it all these years.
And it
It's just,
eliminated some stress.
yeah, and that's fine, I mean, she's a wonderful woman, Why would I let something like that, just be a bone of contention forever?
Oh, Gary, so many do that all the time.
I know.
Regardless of what it is. I know of so many couples right now. And it's often small things.
Yeah.
But they're not willing to give and take or to lay something down. And it kind of gets back to where my heart is and my thoughts so often. It's about the issues of the heart. Are you willing to concede or to say my wife or husband may never change in this particular area, but I'm going to love them just the way they are. That's the way Christ loves them, loves me.
Absolutely.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us about the 5 love languages, and it's had a major impact on my personal life. I could talk for quite a while about experiences that I've had through 50 some years of marriage and how the love languages, learning what they are, and then being willing to speak them to my wife has meant, and the way they've spoken to me makes you feel so loved.
Absolutely. It changes the whole climate in the marriage. Everything else in marriage is easier.
Yeah.
When you're speaking each other's love language and
you
feel love. You can process everything else much, much easier.
Yes, you can. And it's wonderful to come home and feel loved and know that you're coming into a safe haven.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where you can be yourself. Yeah. Thank you, Gary. I appreciate your time.
Well, good to be with you. Always enjoy our time together.
I do too, brother. Thank you very much.